days and wasted nights. You piss them all away. Little children in the street, dying every day. We all look for something we can never find, and we all need peace of mind. Lonely wretch on the street, looking for love. $20 beneath the sheets. Is this all she thinks of? We all look for something.
Three, two, one, go.
Good to see you.
Hey, how are you this week?
I'm hanging in there, brother. I'm hanging
Hey, we
in
had
there.
a lot of clicks on that YouTube video with Sheriff Apple.
Yeah, it was a big show, over 50G. It was
Yeah,
it was really a good show. A lot of people like when we bring Sheriff Apple on because he's telling you the truth, man. He's a politician, but he's a law enforcement officer, you know.
right.
And-
And brings us right into tonight's show.
Yeah. So listen, you know, the world is screwed up, Tim.
Yeah, you got
It really is. And people are struggling beyond belief in this world, right? I want to bring a couple friends on in the next couple of days about real estate, right? Because there's a lot of people asking me about real estate. And I like to bring on Danny Shepard and maybe Jimmy Lyman as well, kind of talk about real estate here in the capital region. In the capital region, we're a little luckier, right? And the reason we're luckier is because there's a lot of state jobs. So the economy is pretty strong here in Albany. But when you spread out across the United States, there's a lot of struggles. And something happened today that just burns my bridges, man. You know, I'm a passionate man. I want to see people come to this country the right way, live a good life. Like a lot of our families, when they came here, it isn't easy, but they came, they did the right thing.
built from
They
the
built-
ground up.
Built from the ground out, built a
Yep.
life, and that's the way it should be. But California, and I call New York and California dumb and dumber because whatever the dummies do in California, the dummier dumbs here. Is that a word? Dummier
New
dumbs?
York, yeah, up here in New York.
Up in
folks,
New York
yeah.
here, the dumber of them all just fall into suit. So you can imagine this has happened. I just want to play something really quick for the audience. Take a watch of this.
On California as a controversial bill providing thousands of dollars in home loans to illegal migrants passes the state Senate, leaving it up to Governor Gavin Newsom to decide. News Nation's Kelsey Kernstein joins us with all the details. Kelsey, this bill facing a lot of scrutiny this morning.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. In fact, you've got California lawmakers really calling this one of the most divisive bills they've seen so far this year. So what we can tell you is that it passed through the California Senate late last night. Now there's a lot of questions as to whether Governor Gavin Newsom will sign it into law and how it's going to be perceived nationally. Now, it's called Assembly Bill 1840. If it gets signed into law, illegal immigrants, they would be allowed to enter a lottery system that would give them up to 20% in down payment assistance or up to $150,000 in home loans. So this is essentially interest-free down payments. So far this year, we know that 18,000 people have applied for the California Dream for All program, and only 1,700 were chosen. But if this bill becomes law, it would expand the eligibility of the program, including illegal immigrants.
So, Timmy, try to put your arms around this, right?
And just what I told you off air. Okay, they're going to give them $20,000 to $30,000 for the down payment that you usually need in order to be able to start the process.
And then $150,000 in interest-free loans that they don't pay back unless they sell the house. And I don't know all the particulars, and I'll dig into it a little more. But I know that it's interest-free. You don't have to pay it back unless you sell the house. I don't know how long you have to live in it for before you may, in certain places, there's loans that say if you live there for 15 years, 10 years, you don't have to pay it back after you sell the house. I don't know if this one is the same as that. But who gives a shit, Tim? Because the reality is we're handing out all this money to people who are not legal citizens. And you heard it in the clip, Tim. You heard it loud and clear. Last year, they ran out of money because so many Americans applied. So imagine this year, half of those people won't be Americans who are legal citizens. This is funded by taxpayer money, and they can't even get in to get the opportunity to receive the same things that were given to these illegals. It's disgusting.
Yeah, and you know, right, and you know, just in New York here, I'll get quick example. Because I've had relatives come here, and when they first arrive, okay, they're green card holders and what have you. In order to get a social security card or even motor vehicle, right? You need 6 points of identification, okay, in order to qualify just to get a driver's license or to get a social security card, right? How are these people who just come over the border with no ID, how do they qualify? What do you just walk over and say, "Here I am. I need 150 grand for a house I want to buy"? How's that work?
Let's be honest. I had a friend of mine yesterday who was at motor vehicle. And he said to me, I'm at motor vehicle. I got all my IDs. They're making me show all these IDs.
Yeah,
And the illegal immigrants walked up with a letter, and that's all they needed.
that's it.
No
yeah.
license, no IDs, no nothing. Just a letter. The same letter that they get to go on an airplane with, where I
Yeah.
got to have my, I got to be patted down from top to bottom.
Take
Then
your
I-
shoes off.
Then I
Yeah,
got to get inside this machine that looks through my body, and
Yeah.
these guys just walk right through with a letter. They
right.
stopped
Yeah,
me in Madison last year because she had milk in a freaking bottle to feed her baby.
yeah.
These people-
Here's my letter. There, let me in.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just it's incredible. But here's the thing, Timmy. So look, I use CNN. These are published by CNN, so people can't say that I'm some crazy conservative because I'm really a middle of the road Democrat who's starting to realize that the Democratic Party is far from the middle of the road. They're so far left, they're down on a hill, and they're
Well,
bringing
that's what Tulsi Gabbard did, and so did John F. Kennedy Jr.
Well, they're bringing everybody down with them, but
Yeah.
it still seems that these people in this country find this Kamala Harris to be some kind of wizard. Here's a woman who's done shit for 3 years telling you that day one she's going to do all the things that she already screwed up, and people are jumping up and down like she's the next coming of Christ. And you know,
Yes.
Timmy, it's just crazy. But these policies are hers.
Yeah,
These people would not put these policies in place during an election year if she wasn't behind them. But
Yeah,
I
agree,
guarantee you she picked up the phone today and said, hey, Newsom, you better veto that because yesterday I changed all my ways of thinking. Now I don't support now I support fracking. Now I
Yeah.
support gas cars. Now I support this. Now I support that. Everything she stood against
She
for the last
supports the
30
border
years.
now.
Yes, now she wants to build a wall. So,
Yeah.
you know, you got to be careful. You can't get all the shit about her past out there because she's changed her opinion. But
Yeah.
these are her policies. That's why young couples, right here, an affordable crisis is in place in the United States. Millennials have almost no chance to buy a house right now, Timmy,
Yes,
because they can't afford it. And we're
and
going
it's
to
a
hand
down
out
payment, which you're getting handed to you for free in California.
well, it's California, and it's going to come to New York. Mark my words.
Yeah.
Write it down. Put it somewhere in one of your socks, and say Sean Morris told you.
Yeah,
Truth, lies, and
we're
political
next.
bullshit.
We're right behind California.
That New York will be next, right?
Yep.
Because it's just it's insane. And so, what happens to a young couple that work their asses off? They're making decent money, but not a lot, and it's not staying competitive with inflation, right? So they make a few extra bucks in a raise, and inflation eats it up with a loaf of bread. So now they're trying to buy a house, and they can't buy the house. What are they doing tonight when they sit down, sad, depressed, disgusted, and they turn on the news and it says, hey, in California, taxpayers are going to give up to $150,000 to illegals to buy a house. What do you think they're going to say?
No
How
shit.
many Americans have to sit back and say, I don't even get these benefits. Timmy, I'm going to tell you something about New York, and you can look this up yourself. Everybody can look this up. You can watch it yourself. New York City, a family of 4 immigrants are given more free money a month than a family of 4 that have a husband or wife that's a disabled vet.
Wow.
So a
Didn't know that.
disabled vet is getting less money than the family of 4 with immigrants for the family of 4 with the vet. Now, how can that be American? How can we be proud of that? How can anybody justify that? How can anybody support those who support that? I don't understand. I just,
It's
folks,
backwards.
I just don't get it.
It's just totally backwards. You serve your country, okay? And then, you know, someone who doesn't serve your country have more benefits. It's insane.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
No.
And I don't know what the answer is. I mean, I don't have the answers. I'm certainly not smart enough to solve these problems, but maybe I'm smart enough to realize that if you just took care of the American families, if you stopped them from coming over the border.
Yeah.
But Tim, if you stop them from coming over the border, guess what happens? You lose your elections. You
that's
lose
true.
congressional seats. So you got to pack these big liberal cities with immigrants because you now count them in the census. So now that you're counting them in the census, you could get more Congress people back in your state. And now you have more power and you take over the Congress, you take over the Senate, you take over the presidency. I'm going to tell you something. I don't know what's going to happen with Trump. I don't. I thought he would have killed Biden, but it looks like there's so many people that are just brain dead that see this woman like she's the new coming of Christ, when in fact, she's been here for 3 years. The policies that she supports have killed ours, have taken dreams away from people. Dreams of owning a house, getting pushed into buying electric cars, having your stove have to be electric instead of gas, right?
All of that,
Wide open borders, you name it, everything bad she's done, yet people want to jump up and down. And I'm going to say this, and I'll get in trouble from this because they'll call me a racist.
Recall back, though, during I think Clinton, Obama, they were giving them free cell phones.
Listen.
Okay? Here's a free cell phone. Okay?
They'll call me a racist, but here's the truth.
Yeah, I don't care anyway.
I don't care either because
Call me a racist.
I'm far from
married,
a racist.
I'm married outside my race.
Yeah, and I have mixed race grandkids that I love more than anything in the world.
Yeah.
But here's the reality. I was just watching CNN, Fox, and a couple other stations. And the new poll came out, and it said young black people are migrating towards Kamala Harris because she's black.
I don't believe that's true, but anyway.
Well, I'm telling you what the polls are saying.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm not saying the polls are true, but the numbers are the numbers.
Yeah.
And they're also saying women are migrating towards Kamala Harris because she's a woman. And I find that to be extremely depressing, extremely concerning. Because
and I don't believe that poll either.
Well, forget about the poll for a minute. We do know that people of color are going with Kamala because she's a woman of color. We do know people who are women are migrating to Kamala Harris because she's a woman.
That'll happen.
But if that doesn't scare the shit out of you, because that tells you that people in 2024 are still using race, sex, gender, and everything other than smart policies that affect your life either positively or negatively. So we are in 2024, folks, and we're going to vote based on someone's color, based on someone's gender. That is a scary proposition because we're not voting on somebody to run the PTA.
Yeah.
We're voting on somebody to run the country.
Yeah, I agree.
The biggest, strongest country in the world. The most powerful human being on earth. And we're going to do it based on their sex, their gender, whether they are perceived or not perceived. I mean, I don't get it. If I ran as a Yankee fan, would Yankee fans just vote for me because I was a Yankee fan? I mean, don't you find that to be scary?
You know, I look at the thing I just come to think that look at if I were to just go on out and vote based on exactly that criteria, okay, your personality, okay, whether you're black, Chinese, Asian, Hispanic, okay, Kamala Harris is Indian. She's not black. All right. But that
Well,
doesn't really matter. Okay. There's a lot of Indians in the country here that may vote for her too. So, but anyway, it's got to be about your qualification, what you can do for the country. I don't see any enthusiasm for her.
Well, listen, Timmy, I watch this news every day.
Yeah.
I'm retired. I read and read and I try to stay up on things.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that she's seen an enormous bump from Joe Biden. Okay?
Well, yeah, better than him. Yeah.
But why?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the same policies.
Yeah.
It's the same policies.
But she's distancing herself from.
Well, yes, because
from-
everything she stood for. See, I believe
Yeah.
this. I'm going to tell you something. I was in politics, right? I had people who were able to change my opinion, right?
Yeah.
Stuff that I knew, what I thought I knew, I would do some research and I'd come to my own conclusion and I'd say, this is what I stand for because this is what I believe.
Yeah.
And then somebody smarter would come to me on that issue and say, let me just explain to you. And then I would take what they explained to me and then I would dig into that and go, you know what? I think they're right. So
Yeah.
I can always say that people can change their opinion on a matter. What you can't change is your morals, your values.
Yeah.
Right? So if you have a value that the country is going to have climate control and it's going to lead to the death of our population, and you have this moral value that you have to save the world, you're not going to change that.
Yeah,
Because somebody
look at
tells you-
this, right. And some of the interviews down in New York City, right? they give them a paper and say, "Hey, here you go. You can go and vote, okay? And who are you going to vote for?" They say, "Well, the Democrat Kamala." Okay, they have no idea who she is.
Listen,
But
if you
give
want,
her a paper and said, "This is who you got to go vote for. Go do it."
they are giving away more benefits to try
Yeah.
to sway people to vote. And it ain't
Yeah.
Americans, right? They're
Yeah.
giving them to illegals. Just jump over and look at Sonora, California. If
Yeah.
you live in California right now and you're an illegal immigrant,
Yeah.
you're going to get your SSI. You're going to get your supplement nutrition program, which is the same up here, like SNAP
Yeah.
food stamps, right?
Yep.
And or you're going to get the California Fresh, which is kind of the same thing. Some of them are getting both. They're getting temporary assistance. They're getting cash cards. They're getting working papers. They're having daycare paid for. It's like, man, why wouldn't I want to come live here? I don't even
Right.
have to work.
Yeah.
They're
That's
getting
true.
they're getting better benefits than the working families.
All you got to do is pay the cartel 35 grand and get you over the border. Once you do that, okay, you're done for. Okay.
And what does that tell you? It's telling you if you just have a half a brain. If you went to the Wizard of Oz and you only came home with the scarecrow with half a brain, okay, he would tell you that they're just buying votes, buying people.
That's exactly what's
They're
going on.
hoarding people. 305,000 young children are missing in this country. Do you
Yeah.
think all those kids went to grandma's house or grandpa's house?
No, yeah. They're
Do you
going.
think they're gone?
85,000 are missing.
What's that show that was on about taking young kids and stealing them and selling their body parts or putting them into the work trade?
Well,
or the
that
sick
was
them?
a movie that was put out by Angel Studios, if I recall. What was it?
I forget the name, but that's who it
Sound
was.
of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom.
Yeah.
If you don't watch that and have a broken heart
Yeah.
and realize that shit really goes on in this country.
It does.
So where are those kids?
Hmm.
How can you look at Kamala Harris and say, I'm going to vote for you when you tell me where those 305 I'll vote for her tomorrow.
Yeah.
If she could tell me where those 305 little kids are. but they can't. They're missing, never to be
Yes.
found again. You know why? Because nobody even knew who they were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They were sent over here, maybe by parents that didn't want them.
Or the
People that
cartels
didn't want to
just
take
drop
care of
them over
them.
the border and leave them,
Drop
leave
them
for
here,
dead to cross the,
and
you
we
know,
hand them to
cross
some
the
guy that
desert
says
because
some
all
guys
they give a shit about.
some guy says I got paper, I'll take them. I'm a
Yeah.
good guy. I'll and they're just giving them away like they're
Yeah.
like they're $150,000 house loans.
Yeah.
But these are children.
Yeah.
Where are they?
It's
Does anybody
insane
know?
what's going on. Insane. Okay.
Yeah. So we are a country right now that has lost its moral compass.
You know, and sometimes, off the top of my head, I think about, how does Mexico get away with allowing this influx like this when we've got the most powerful military in the world?
Well,
And I
Mexico,
would-
you know Mexico, right? Mexico
Yeah.
is the government's selling crack just like the rest of them. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just it's a shithole cesspool.
Yeah.
I believe there's a lot of good people in Mexico.
Yeah.
I've been there. I met them, but the government is corrupt as can be. You'll see cops pull up
I
on the
think
streets.
people in general are good people. Okay.
Yeah.
It's government that causes all the problem for people.
Well, it certainly enables a lot of it,
Yeah.
And so, here we are looking at the United States crumbling with the economy that's just killing people, and then you have states handing out taxpayers' money
Yeah.
to give it to illegal
Because they
immigrants.
just print it, the federal government prints it, gives it to them.
Yeah, but
they
see,
hand it on
here's the
out.
thing.
Yeah.
I'm being taxed. I want my taxpayer money to go to good causes, right?
Yeah.
Here in the United States for United States people. I have no problem pitching in to help seniors and orphan child. I have no problem helping single moms and people who are struggling, long as they're working hard to try to get on their feet. I always did that my whole life, just like you, who's donated a ton of your money, and you're certainly not a rich man, to families in the Philippines, put them through college. I'm proud to say that I've been able to pitch in a little, right, the last
Yeah,
couple of
you
years.
have, yes.
But you did this for years, never saying a word.
Yeah, I do that all the time. I don't tell people about
And
it.
that's what good people do. And I don't mind spending my money like that.
Well, I have Sean, look at it. The way I'd like to put it to you is that if I wanted applause, I would have joined the circus.
Yeah, you would have. What were you? Yeah, clowns like you would have really.
Right. Yeah.
But the truth is, I don't mind spending my money helping people. I don't think
Yes.
anybody watching this show has a
You do
problem
the-
spending.
Right. And you do these little things, helping me, helping them. And, that little bit makes a difference. But that's coming from your heart. Okay. And it's a very small thing. It's not the government doing it.
But I have a
people.
problem when the government takes my
Yeah.
money
Yeah.
and gives it to things that I shouldn't have to give it to.
Right.
If they were taking my money saying, hey, there's a pool that anybody, regardless, can put their name in, and if you're lucky to get drawn out, you get 150,000. I'd say, you know what, that ain't bad. I'll throw $10 into that.
Yeah.
I'd buy, if that was a raffle, I'd buy it, right?
Yeah.
So let everybody have it, but let it be United States of America people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe you would encourage people to come here and come here legally. But Timmy,
Yeah.
you know what? That's not the only problems we have. I want to tell you, Jesus, Mary and Joseph, and all the saints in heaven. Today, okay, I'm going through the news, and I see this the most crazy. I had to read it 3 times. Vermont. I said this
Yeah.
can't be real. Vermont Department of Health is asking the public to stop calling their kids sons and
And
daughters.
yeah. Right. Right.
Come on, Timmy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I
So
gotta
what do you
drink a
call
lot of
your
water. I
kids?
gotta-
What do you call them? If they're not your son, not your daughter, what do you call them? It?
I mean, that's the crazy. That's the crazy thing that's going on in this world, Timmy.
It's this DEI crap, okay? And this woke, okay? And more companies now that are woke and go broke, like Harley Davidson, they tried to do that. People started trashing their bikes, and then they backed off, and it's happening more and more though.
Yes,
But
I mean,
still,
this,
it's insane.
Yeah, this
That's why
inclusive-
they think they need to do this stuff
this inclusive shit in businesses that are losing a fortune.
over the
They,
top.
they quickly decide, okay, we're making a bad business choice. But the
Yes.
morons here in the Vermont public health. These are not people who care about the
No.
repercussions because they're mentally ill.
Yeah.
You know what I've been calling my son for 30 years when I see him play baseball or basketball, or when he comes to the house, or when he calls me? I go, "Hey, son, how you doing?"
Uh-huh.
What am I going to call him now?
Yeah.
"Hey, asshole, how you doing?" Then they'd
Yeah.
say, "Ah, this guy's no good. He just called his son
Yeah.
an
Hey,
asshole."
skank, what are you
"Hey,
doing?
jerk, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
"Hey, pronoun, how are you?" "Hey, his what?" I mean, I'm so lost because
Ask him what he wants. Ask him what he wants you to call him.
when I want to call the health
Said,
department
Dad,
in
I don't
Vermont,
identify his son anymore.
yeah, I want to call the public health department in Vermont a
Yeah.
bunch of morons
Yeah.
that have no business being
Yeah.
in any position that has any control, even the
Yeah.
smallest control, over my life, your life, my family's life.
Yeah.
I'm going to call my son's son. I'm going to cook with a gas
Yeah.
stove. I'm going to cook with a
Yeah.
freaking hamburger maker out in my
cheese on
yard
top of it.
that
Yeah.
uses coal.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to call it something else because you can't call it a cooker no more. You got to
Yeah.
come up with another name because cookers that ain't electric are against the law.
Right.
Okay. I'm not buying a freaking electric car, and I'm not going to be told what to do because
Yeah,
I'm an
and-
American and I have
Yeah.
freedoms.
And what just happened in Jersey? Okay, offshore in Jersey, one of those big wind turbines. The blades broke on one of them, and now they got fiberglass and all kinds of contaminants in the water after one of these things got blown over because of high winds. All right,
Timmy,
So
I'm not. I'm not a
it's
scientist, but I'm not
insane.
stupid. Look at anytime you put something like that somewhere, it's going to break.
Yes,
It's going to get
now
hit by
it's
a
washing up
tornado.
on
It's going to be
shore.
knocked over by the wind. It's
Mhm.
going to. They know in Martha's Vineyard out way out in the ocean, right?
Yeah,
That the sound of these things are making the whales wash up in on shore.
because it vibrates.
Because of sonar, and they
water,
can't
too.
understand. Yeah, they hear all these high pitched tones, and it makes them,
Yeah.
feel like they're on freaking LSD, and they're running all over the bottom of the ocean, don't know what to do.
Yeah.
It's whales, it's dolphins.
Yeah,
They're not just washing up on the beach all of a sudden. What's the common denominator? We put these
Yeah.
things in the ocean 6 months ago, and for the last 4
Yeah.
months, whales never washed up on the beach. Now we got 15 of them.
yeah, and they're breaking, and the fiberglass, because these things are made out of fiberglass and metals and stuff like that, and all of that stuff is ending up in the water, okay, and it's being consumed by the wildlife, marine life.
It is
It's
just
crazy what's going on. They don't
we are
think.
not ready to transition.
No.
Okay, we are not ready to transition from gas, fossil fuels. I don't even have a problem if they said, "Hey, you know what? We're going to try to transition
Yeah.
the best we can, and it may take 100 years from now."
Yes. Do it slowly. And
But
do
don't
it right.
say, "Yeah, don't tell me I got to go buy a car that's 40,000, and then 6 years later the
Yeah.
battery's 32,000
Yeah.
when
yeah.
it doesn't run no more." You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
It's just crazy. But that's what we have. We have these woke people trying to control our lives. I'm still trying to understand this. What gives Bill Gates? What gives
To write the
all these other?
buy up all this farmland. And
No,
then
but what
shut it
gives
all
them
down.
what gives them the right to
Yeah.
decide that we have to put different shit up inside the clouds to try to cool the earth or cause
Yeah.
it to rain? Who is he? Who gave him the freaking sky? Bill
Yeah.
Gates. Where does he own the sky that he just gets the right to say, "I'm going to do this.
Yeah, and they want people to eat bugs now.
I'm going to block the sun. We got to block the
Yeah.
sun." Like, that doesn't sound like it's going to cause a problem. I
Yeah.
mean, I think just blocking the sun may just do great things for us, like freeze us up into a freaking ice age. I don't know, right? But
Yeah.
who gives him the right to
Yeah.
make the decisions? Who's going to, block the sun?
Yeah.
Who's
Right,
going to
I
make us
agree.
eat?
How
Who's
are
going to
these
make
people
me
so
eat test
empowered
tube chicken?
to make decisions like that? It's crazy.
Well, I don't understand who gives them the right to make that. They don't own this
Yeah.
earth.
No, they don't. I agree
So
with you.
how do you and I stand up and say, "Hey, tomorrow we're going to make a new worldly event, and we're
Yeah.
going to start, putting dye in the clouds and make it all, green for
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day."
Yeah.
or we're going to turn the clouds into, something else, or we're going to make the sun brighter, or we're going to drain the ocean. Who gives us a right to do that?
Yeah. You
Is it
he
because
was
we
put
have
on
billions of dollars?
He was put on the earth no different than you and I.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
he was
I
he was
just
put
tell
on
him
by
if-
Satan. That prick
Right.
is.
I mean, look, if it boiled down to it, Sean, you know what I would tell him there? I would give him the big FU. Nobody
Well, Bill
tells-
Gates has already got
Yeah.
his hands in all the farmland.
Yeah.
He's already got his hands in the United States politicians with his money.
Yep.
Right, we're one of the
Same
few.
with Zuckerberg.
We're one of the few countries that have been allowed to make beef and chicken in freaking test tubes. Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like it's healthy for you, right? Now he's making butter out of non-milk, not with no ingredients, some kind of
Yeah.
chemicals. He's whipping up butter,
Yeah.
and you're going to start eating his butter. He's putting his shit on vegetables and fruits that take fruits that are almost decayed, and they can last about 655 more years. And that doesn't sound like it's problematic, right?
Right. And McDonald's trying to sell that hamburger that's not a hamburger. What is it? What is
Impossible
it?
burger.
Yeah. Right. Impossible. I think.
It's impossible because it ain't meat.
Yeah, it's not.
But who the hell is Bill
lab-grown meat.
Gates?
Who's
Who's Bill Gates?
Lab-grown meat, not meat.
You haven't answered me. Who the hell's Bill Gates to make these
nobody.
decisions? That's
Just
right.
He's a
He's
rich
a whack
guy.
job.
Whose
He's a
time
rich
is
man
gone.
that they should take. We should have a right to put him in one of Elon Musk rockets and send
Yeah.
his ass out somewhere out in the space and let him figure out how to find life out in space and leave my fruit alone.
Yeah.
I ain't eating your test tube shit, your
Yeah.
impossible hamburgers,
Yeah.
okay? And I don't want you interfering with my life.
Yeah.
But you know what, Timmy? He's buying up all the farmland. That's a problem.
Yeah.
And how the United States lets him and lets China be the two biggest farm owners in the country
Yeah.
is
it's
beyond my
crazy.
realm of thinking.
And they're buying them near military bases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll preserve a butterfly down at Van Skyke, right?
Yeah.
There's some butterfly that flies around down there. So you can't go in certain spots and get your ball because you'll disturb the butterfly.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because we got to
And-
protect it. But we're not protecting farmland?
Yeah. And did you see this little clip that was put out down on the island? Some woman down there was down there she was harvesting snapping turtles out of the pond. right?
Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But somebody did put that out there.
They
That she was
did put
gonna-
that out. I don't know.
She's
Apparently
gonna make
police
snapping
were called.
turtle
They
soup, right?
Put those turtles back. Remember, you
Christ.
had to put a sign up because then Councilman Randy Knipka wanted a turtle.
You better call
crossing
Knifka
sign.
and let him know they're stealing his snapper
Yeah,
turtles.
now they're stealing
for
the
soup.
turtles.
That's
And
unbelievable.
they said, she was going to make turtle soup out of them.
Hey, Tim, I
What?
want to
Come
hop
on.
over. I want to get off this subject because I
Let's
can't
go.
take it no more. I got to sit here tonight, figure out what I'm going to call my son. I can't take it. But,
Come, dude.
I want to jump over to the hot news, okay?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can see the bottom of that. Hopefully it's big enough for everybody to
I
see
can't
it.
read it. It's too small for me. But anyway,
Well, if it's too small for you, you need better glasses. But what it says down there is that we were talking about the water filtration plant, right?
yeah.
We were talking about they were putting in these solar panels. We were
Yeah.
talking about how Steve Hennessy and Keeler have destroyed every department, every bit of morale, suspending
Yes.
people that have 25 years that's never been in trouble in their life, suspending
Yeah.
people with 15 years, putting people up there that have no idea how to run your water filtration plant.
yeah.
And we always talk about the expense of being an incompetent leader. So the hot news is they just had to transfer 70,000 and another 50,000
yeah.
out of other departments to pay for all of the chemicals that they washed down the sewers because they had broken pipes that they thought that were
Yep.
broken. Because they had mechanical issues. Because truthfully, you want to know why they ran out of money? Because they suspended people who knew how to run the plant.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
And because they were fighting with Hennessy because he's a fucking moron who doesn't know how to run a water plant,
Yeah.
right? But he has to control everything. Next thing you know, all these people with years of service, never been in trouble, they're suspended, and we're coming up with $130,000 more dollars
Yeah.
and lost chemicals and repairs to shit that they never repaired.
15 million gallons of water flushed right down into the sewer.
Broken
No less.
valves that they swore the
Yep.
valve was broke. The valve was broke. The valve was broke. Well, guess what, Timmy?
Yep.
The valve wasn't broke.
Right.
They had a piece of wood stuck in the pipe.
Yeah.
And so
Piece
if
of
they
wood,
would have
huh?
just done the
How'd they get in the
maintenance,
pipe?
yeah, well, you
Tree
know,
branch?
hey, we have $100,000 camera. Why didn't they run it through the pipe?
Good question. And look at keep in mind, okay, not only did that happen, they had to transfer 50 grand, okay, because the contractor underestimated what needed to be done around the reservoir.
Well, now
okay,
we're at 170.
Right, $600,000 overestimate, okay, or should I say underestimate for the solar project. We're $1 million behind what they planned on doing. At least $1 million now. We either see a tax increase because of this incompetence, or they're going to have to steal the money from the rainy day fund. Is the
Hey,
way
Timmy,
I
you
see
and
it.
I have had a conversation about this
Yeah,
for a long time.
sure.
Every single thing they do is a losing proposition, from
Yeah.
the solar lights that cost us more now than it's ever cost because we have to pay for the bond. See, common sense would say, okay, if I put these light bulbs in, I am going to save money.
Yes,
They really are.
LEDs
you-
are cheaper.
But what
yes.
you have to remember is you got to pay for it.
You bought them.
So why the hell would you take a city that has so many struggling problems here today in the future, right?
Yeah.
And bet your $400,000 on 20 years down the road, which will change 1,000 times before you get there.
Yes. Yeah.
Certainly so won't the cost of doing
Yeah. For
business.
lights that have a 10-year warranty, and we
Right.
got a 20-year bond.
So they use their little bullshit, right? This is the
Yeah.
political bullshit I'm talking about.
Yes.
So they get the bill and they go, oh, yep, the lights used to be 450,000, and now they're only 250. So we saved 200,000. Oh, not so fast, my friend, because
Yeah.
you're paying 350,000 a year to pay the bond off for the next 20 years. So when you
Yes.
add your 350 to your 250,
You're not
you're
saving
you're
anything.
losing 250,000 a year.
Yeah. We're
Okay?
not saving money on the LEDs.
That's what's going to happen with their stupid solar
It's
panels.
a disaster.
It's a disaster.
And they just don't know it.
And you know what happens? Keeler, the clown, marches to the tune of the left-wing Democrats that run the show.
Yeah.
And all this stuff comes down from the top. I was the mayor. I know. They used to say, you got to do this, 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 and this. And I'd say, not doing it. Oh, you
Yeah.
got it. The governor. Fuck the governor. He's
Yeah.
a piece of shit. He's
Yeah.
fondling women, and he's worried about me putting light bulbs in.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
That's why
Yeah.
he comes after me. He comes after me because I told him the scumbag that he is. But you know what happens? You better be prepared to die on the field when you take on that battle. But sometimes it's worth it, Timmy. So
Yeah.
all of the stuff going on in our city is coming from the left wing. Taco gets the money from the left wings who are promoting
So
solar.
the council transferred this money then, huh?
Well, I don't
and-
know if I think they transferred it the other day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they didn't even bother asking why.
Well, it says why. What's
Yeah.
it say? It says cover costs to repair chlorine control drivers, paddles, shifts, and leaks. Transfer to increase usage of chemicals due to mechanical issues. That's a lie. It's
Yeah.
not a mechanical issue. You got a piece of wood stuck in your freaking pipe, and you never clean the pipes out,
Yeah.
which is something you should be doing. Just like Roto-Rooter, if you don't clean your pipes, I put shit in my father had a leak, had a backed up sink, right?
Yeah.
When you start cleaning that out, what do you get? All this gook, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I bought this stuff a couple years ago because when I bought my house, I said, I don't want to have that. And every month you put some stuff in, it eats all the gunk up.
Yeah.
Maintenance is just as important, if not more important, than anything else. But they don't take care of stuff. And then they
No.
just, instead, they solve a $5 problem with a $100 meeting, Timmy.
Well, I told you last podcast, they're not proactive. This admin is reactive.
Well, they're less than
Look at-
reactive. They're
right, look-
incompetent.
Right. Look at the Valit Boulevard that just got paved. Okay, they've already got 3 patches within 100 feet of each other. It's insane. You know.
Listen,
because of
I
the
hope
leaking water valves.
I hope that we can go back a couple years and say, I told you so. Because a few years from now, we told them the city's got to be broke.
Yeah.
They squandered
we
all of
said
the
this,
money that
yeah.
we saved up.
Yes.
Okay. They can't get cops to want to work here because it's a shithole to work. DPW workers. Now they're trying to lateral transfer firefighters. I mean,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
you're seeing shit that you never seen before. And it all started when Keeler got here because he's a fool. Firefighters don't want to work here. Cops don't want to work here. DPW doesn't want to work here.
Yeah.
They're suspending people right and left.
Yeah.
Hennessy thinks he's like, I don't know, maybe you got to bow down. He's Jesus Christ or something,
Caesar.
Timmy,
Yeah.
it is just getting to be crazy. I got to be honest with you. I'm a God-fearing man. Maybe it is the end of times because I can't believe like in such a short time, the whole world can be tipped upside down the way it is. I just can't believe it.
Something's going on. Yeah.
Something is happening. I mean, just the things that we find to be acceptable, the mutilation of little kids at 9 years old to change their sex. Vermont telling me I can't call my kid son. Opening up borders and they don't care how many murderers come in because murderers are only going to be a small group compared to the masses. So let's say for every 1 million people, there's 10,000 murderers. I'm not going to run into them. I don't give a shit, right?
And
They don't have to
come
worry
in
about
from
it.
Canada now, too.
They're coming from everywhere. Canada's a shithole.
Yeah.
Canada is a great example of why you don't give your government cashless money or ever let them have any kind of control over your bank accounts. Because when they had the COVID and the truckers picketed, you know what they did? They went in and shut down all of their bank accounts and took all their bank accounts. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, that did happen, yes.
And now you got these morons who are excited to put a chip in their arm so that they can go to work and go like this over the freaking vending machine and the soda pops out. Yeah, wait till your arm falls off with some kind of cancer that you get from this chip. Or maybe the end of the world is coming. Maybe it is the Antichrist and the mark of the beast, right? The mark of the beast. You can't buy nothing. You can't do nothing unless you accept that chip in your arm. I don't know. It's pretty scary.
Hey, if you recall, remember I told you, I think it was a week or two ago, I got more information on it, where it's starting up at Sam's Club, okay, as you exit Sam's Club, okay, you got these big metal, like, archways you pass by.
Yeah, right.
Well, what is actually going on here, I have I know someone that told me really how it works is it's not the barcode of the products that they're picking on up. These things here, they're embedding a chip or something similar to a chip that's being put within the label somewhere, anywhere in the label. And it's sort of like 3 layers. You have your original layer, then you have another layer where it's got this chip hidden somewhere, and then a third layer. So it's increasing the cost, that technology. It's increasing the cost. And it's expensive, but it's going to allow you to be able to walk right on up to a register, scans everything. As you go out the door, scans everything, make sure it all gets paid for. And they're doing this passively by using this embedded chip on all of the products now, not just a barcode.
I don't know, Timmy, for sure about that as you go in and out. Because
it is.
Because I'll tell you why I'm just saying I don't know.
Yeah.
Because down the other end, you can do that for the last year and a half, but you have to pay extra money to do it. So the one in the front of the doors, right?
Yeah.
That's free.
That's free.
That can
it's
tell
when
if
you
you're stealing
exit.
something.
It's when you exit now.
It could tell if you're stealing stuff, right?
Yeah, what it does is it's almost like going through an X-ray machine in a sense. And if there's an item there that didn't get rung up at the register, it chirps on
Right.
out. Okay.
But if you go down to the other end, all the way down to the last cashier,
Yeah.
you pay an extra $25 a year. You throw everything in your cart
Yeah.
and you just walk through.
Yeah.
So that's what you're talking about, right?
Now I'm talking about the archways where you exit Sam's Club.
I know where you're talking because I was just
Right.
there today.
Right. Okay.
But the
Once
lady
you
told
exit,
me-
it's got these blue pen. Well, it's almost like going through an X-ray machine.
Yes, the lady told me that
Okay,
if
but
things,
it's not X-ray, but it's reading every item in your cart because the labels are printed with a device in there that this however it works, almost like an MRI. I don't know. Somebody can come on and tell us more. But basically, it's picking up that chip on that item that's in the cart, and it's not the barcode where you ring it on up to get its cost, which is doing the inventory. All this stuff is now being put right into the label, but not in the barcode itself.
I'm gonna have
Somewhere
to-
on the product.
I'm gonna
And
go
it's
up there.
enough that once it goes through this device, no matter what angle you're on, it picks it on up and it knows you got it.
yeah, I'm going to go up there and ask them again because when I went through today, they still take 2 items out of your cart. And
Yeah,
ship them.
they because it matches the register, okay?
Right.
It's based on the barcode, but this new technology, it's got nothing to do with the barcode.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know for a fact if you pay the extra money,
Yeah,
it's called skip the line or something, and you just throw
Something.
it. Right, but they want more money for that. What they're doing
Yeah.
at the front door, I don't think's the same. I think they're
No.
making sure you're not stealing.
no, you just walk in with your card, but when you walk out, every item in there eventually is going to have this chip or whatever it is on the label.
So they
okay.
can't steal it.
Once you go through that thing, it's going to know everything that's in your cart. And
Yeah.
if it doesn't match what came out of that register, okay, then you get pulled over to the side. It's really to stop theft. It's really to get rid of employees. Okay, they're paying these people $15, $20 just to check 3 items in your cart.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, Timmy, all this stuff is going to put people out of jobs,
And that's what's going on.
and it's getting crazy, and it's also controlling people.
Yeah,
and that's my
what's
biggest
going on.
fear.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
tell people, use your brains, be smart, think about what you're doing because some of the shit that's going on right now is frightening.
Yeah.
Don't look at it as, oh, that's cool. When they're telling you got to put a chip in your arm,
Yeah.
that's not cool.
Or in your hand there, and you just wave your hand by, and then okay, everything's paid for. It's crazy.
Why do you think that-
I would never do that.
It's a whole nother point of electric cars.
Yeah.
They can control how far you can go. They can
Yeah.
shut your car off. They can
Mhm.
say you didn't pay your taxes. We're turning your car off.
Yeah, you didn't pay your
We're
monthly
we're
bill
turning
there,
you-
and they shut
yeah.
your car off on the
Or
highway.
they shut your chip off in your hand.
Mhm.
Don't let people control your life. Don't be sheep. Use your
Yeah.
brains. Until next week.
Yeah.
I'm signing off using my brains. It's time.
Wait
for
a minute. I got one question for
Oh,
you.
all right.
How was that drive on that newly paved Western Avenue?
Timmy, I got to be honest with you. Western Avenue has always been a secondary road.
Yes.
There's only a small few amount of houses on that road.
About 15 or so. Yep.
6 of them are probably owned by him and his family, the Keeler
Yes,
family.
that's true.
The
And that
paving
road's a
job,
mile long.
the paving job was pretty good. There's still some spots where the sewer covers
Yeah.
need to be fixed because when you hit them, your front end falls off. But it's good to be king. That's all I can tell
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. That's
Because,
what I
because,
thought. Because
poor Billy Smith would still be waiting because
well, that's my whole point, okay, is when we see at the end of the year all the streets that are on rollover that didn't get done, we want to make the point that Billy made sure his street got done.
hey, I know what Billy would say. The same thing you would say. The same thing
Yeah.
I would say. 50% of the Western Avenue street that got broken up
Yeah. It was his
was
fault.
from building all those houses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Driving because you're driving off the road into the lot where you're building,
and you're
smack-
damaging the road edge.
and
Yeah.
then you have the city come up and fix it for you.
Yeah.
Only in America.
And there's no storm drains up there either. Okay, look at I guess that's a wrap for the show. Okay.
I'll see you, Timmy.
Take care.
God
Good
bless
day.
everybody.
Yep.